Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Sebastian from techcentury and welcome to my full review of what's probably the coolest product of the summer, the Xiaomi Smartmi 2S Fan. So to start off, let's first take a look at the price and availability of this fan, and in the US it retails for around $129 from Amazon, and I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can check out the updated pricing. And here in Germany I paid around 90 euros for it, and while it's definitely not cheap for a fan, for what it offers I think it's still an absolute bargain. Moving on, the Smartmi 2S features a very minimalistic and elegant design that suits any modern environment well, and I personally absolutely love it, and I think that it blends in very well here in the loft. In terms of build quality, I was pleasantly surprised. Yes, the fan is mostly made out of plastic, but still feels good and not cheap and very solid, so you won't knock this over by accident. And when it comes to the physical controls on the fan itself, we have a power button that's also used for switching between the levels 1 to 4 of fan speed, and an oscillation button for automatic fan rotation. My only gripe is that these buttons are rather mushy and they could offer a more tactile feedback. But now let's actually take a look at the feature set of this fan. And first off, we definitely have to mention the quiet DC motor that results in a noise level of around 28 decibels. This is at least what the manufacturer claims. Of course, this also varies with the speed level that you set the fan to. And on the device itself, you actually can choose between 4 levels. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. 1 is around 25%, 2 is 50%, 3 is 75%, and then 4 is 100%. In the app itself, you can really set it from 1% to 100% to whatever level you want, which is absolutely amazing. Then we also have built-in Bluetooth for app connectivity and a built-in battery, which is awesome because this means that you're not reliant on a power outlet. Now let's actually take a look at the app connectivity, because from my experience, I mostly controlled the fan with the app because it just gives you much more control than you find on the device itself. Now you control this fan through the Xiaomi Home App, and I was already using it for my Roborock vacuum, and it's a good app with a nice amount of controls, and it's connected over Bluetooth, so this unfortunately means that it takes a few seconds after starting the app until you're connected, and sometimes it didn't work, so a Wi-Fi connection would definitely be much more stable, but it still worked most of the time. In terms of features that you can control here on the fan, you can turn it on or off. You can turn on the natural wind on or off. So this means that it will vary in speed by itself. I never really used that. You can then also change the fan speed from 1 to 100%, and you can also change the oscillation angle from off to 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees or 120 degrees. And this is absolutely amazing because that way you can really set it to whatever is perfect for you in the situation. There's also a timer for automatic shut off. So for example, if you're using the fan at night, you can say, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep in half an hour, so I can just leave the fan on for the next 2 hours and then it will turn off by itself and it won't be running all night, which is great to see. And we also have the adjustments for actually changing the LED brightness of the fan itself. Now, I never was bothered by the brightness of the LEDs, but there you go, you can do that. And you can also enable an abnormal operation alert. So I guess if something is stuck between the blades or something, you'll get a notification. And you can actually also enable the child lock for blocking the buttons of the fan itself. So if you have a child that wants to mess around with the fan, you can just block it in the settings and then you're good to go. Before we get to my verdict, I definitely also have to talk about the battery, because this for me is just the single biggest highlight of this fan, because you barely find it on any other fans out there, and this just means that you can place this fan everywhere. You can take it on the balcony with you, you can take it outside if it's hot outside, and you don't need to worry about finding a wall outlet to plug it in, and there are no cables that you could trip over if you're carrying drinks, for example. So I think it's just absolutely amazing. Now Xiaomi claims a battery life of up to 16 hours, and this sounds like a lot, but I can definitely see it work if you're just using the fan at level 1 or 25% fan speed. Then I think it can easily reach these 16 hours. From my personal test with mixed usage from 25 to 75%, 50% again, it lasted around 12 hours, which I think is still pretty incredible, also with oscillation on. So I think the battery life is pretty great. I only have one gripe, and this is that you can't find a battery level indicator anywhere. It's not on the device itself, you can't find it in the app, not in the settings, so you never know when the fan is running out of battery. And this is just an oversight that kind of aggravates me a little bit, because it just sucks that you don't know, well, is the battery empty in 30 minutes or in 12 hours? So this is definitely something that I want to see improved in the future. But now it's actually time for my verdict, and I can only say that the Smartmi 2S is definitely the coolest and best fan that I've ever owned. I was debating for a long time if I should really spend this money on a fan, but it's so worth it, and it really saved us these last couple of weeks. It was so hot here in the loft at around 35 degrees, so we basically let it run at night all day, and we've already used it so much, and it's just a great relief that I can't recommend enough. So if you're thinking about purchasing it, don't think twice, purchase it, it's absolutely awesome. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you guys liked this review, and I really hope to see you next time.